So I would like to introduce Joe Nunley. Joe manages the Gas Energy Efficiency and Conservation portfolio for UGI Gas and UGI P&G Gas Utilities. Together, the UGI Gas and UGI P&G have a $42 million program budget approved over 5 years. Joe oversees the entire portfolio, which includes incentives for gas equipment, new construction, retrofit, combined heat and power, and behavior education programs. Joe, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thanks, Tori, and thanks for the introduction, and thanks for having us today to chat about our exciting programs coming up, and thanks to everyone joining us to talk about them. So I'll just kind of jump right in if you want to go to the next slide, Tori. So I just wanted to kind of mix it up a little bit today and put this at the beginning and at the end so you guys know, everybody on the call knows. Any questions that you don't get out today or that you think of, you can always email this savesmart@ugi.com. It goes to my entire team. It goes to 4 different people, so even if somebody's out, you get a quick response. We also have the website there, ugi.com/savesmart, is going to be updated with the real-time information. So some of the programs I'm talking about today aren't actually live yet. They'll be live in the new year. So that website will always have the current live programs. And then the information for these 2018 programs will be updated between Christmas and the new year. Go to the next slide, please. So this is kind of a refresher if anyone didn't join our last webinar, which was in April, where we talked about some of our programs. UGI is any of our 4 utilities are not mandated by Act 129, so there's 100% voluntary programs. That's why you'll see some differences in them. Current programs we have right now are just for non-residential and residential equipment rebates, but we are launching those new construction and residential and non-residential retrofit programs in 2018. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. Gas rebates are currently only available to UGI gas customers. That's the Carlisle, Harrisburg, Lebanon, Lancaster, Reading, Allentown, Hazleton metro areas. But we're expanding the programs in 2018 to our UGI Penn natural gas customers, which is like the Wilkes-Barre and Williamsport metro areas. And that's going to be for equipment and new construction. So we'll get into details about that throughout the webinar. And we also, on that website, have a zip code eligibility file. So you just click in, it brings up, you can see if your zip code's on that list, if you're eligible or not, because sometimes it is confusing when our territories overlap each other. And then UGI Electric is one of the utilities in the UGI portfolio as well. It has approximately 63,000 customers in northeastern PA. It's Wyoming County and parts of Luzerne and Lackawanna County. You can move to the next slide. So I want to just start with just giving a kind of a refresher about our electric programs. It is a smaller utility, or a smaller customer footprint, in northeastern PA, but we do have some programs there. I've had them for a few years. They're not new. So I just wanted to kind of put up, you can get appliance rebates. So I know most of the people here are on this call because of multifamily reasons. So if you were replacing all the appliances in your building or things like that, you get the rebate. It's also the rebates you see here. There's also appliance recycling, $50 to recycle old inefficient refrigerators or freezer. And then if you add on a room air conditioner combined with a freezer refrigerator, you get $15 for that as well. Next slide, please, Tori. UGI Electric also has fuel switching incentives. So there are small commercial or residential rebates if you're converting in a master metered multifamily building or individually metered multifamily building, converting from another fuel source to gas. For a heater, if you install qualifying furnaces or boilers, you can get $1,500. Their Energy Star is the qualification there. Water heater, you can get $270, and solar thermal $140, or natural gas dryers, you can get $250 incentives per unit that you would do there. So it's a pretty nice program if you're up in that electric service territory. And there's also a custom incentive program which just got underway, and that's basically just, it's kind of similar to what the retrofit program for the gas side will be, that I'm going to talk about in a little bit, where if you're doing something that saves energy in a non-residential sector, you can get an energy audit and get an evaluation of measures that are energy saving and cost-effective measures will be provided with an incentive, a custom incentive. So it's unlike the prescriptive program. Next slide, please. Here's just a list of other electric programs that UGI does offer. You can see, please contact Tammy Albenzi at talbenzi@ugi.com if you're interested in participating in the low-income water heater pilot. I'm going to just especially focus on that one for a second because it's something that I know a lot of people on the call have a stake in the low-income sector, even in the multifamily. And UGI has been trying to get traction on a pilot program for the LIRP UGI electric customers with old and efficient electric water heaters to actually switch them to energy efficient natural gas water heaters at no cost to the customer. We have been having trouble finding qualified customers for that. So if you do have anything in mind, please contact Tammy directly at talbenzi@ugi.com. The other programs I'm not going to really get into in detail. You'll get a copy of this just because they would rarely apply to the folks on the call. Next slide, please. So this is a recap of kind of what UGI Gas has available right now when we talk about equipment rebates, and then this will be available to our UGI PNG customers starting in 2018. This is the prescriptive program, so basically just if you put in this piece of equipment, you get this rebate. It's not based on a custom energy savings or anything like that. And this is our most popular, probably will be our most popular program throughout, but it's currently our most popular program, of course, as well. But we've been doing these programs in UGI Gas territory since January 2017, and we'll, like I said, offer them to UGI PNG in 2018. So one main change from last year, for those of you who were on the call, in 2018 we'll be requiring Energy Star certification for Wi-Fi thermostats. Previously, it could just be any Wi-Fi thermostat, but our filing with the PUC indicates that we will use Energy Star as a standard or greater where applicable. And now that there is a standard for Wi-Fi thermostats, we upgraded that. You can see rebates for tankless water heaters, furnaces, and then boilers and combi boilers are actually 94 plus AFUE for the efficiency rating, which is higher than Energy Star. And that's mainly because we're offering $1,500 and $1,800 on those units. So we require a little bit of a stronger energy efficiency level. The non-residential equipment rebates, same thing. So UGI Gas Current and UGI PNG for 2018. This is the heating and water heating portion of that. So commercial boilers are now the same as Wi-Fi thermostats requiring to be Energy Star. Previously, we had a smaller rebate for an 85 plus efficiency boiler, and the rebate you see now was for a 90 plus. Now that Energy Star is a standard, we got rid of the 85 level and made one level of Energy Star, $2,000 rebate plus an additional $2 per MBH. Also have unit heater rebates, 90 plus is the qualification there. 3 different sizes of steam traps with 3 different incentive levels, which are fairly popular, and then the Energy Star rated commercial water heaters at $4 per MBH. And again, UGI Gas currently and UGI PNG will be offered these programs in 2018. Next slide, please. Part of the non-residential is also this commercial kitchen rebates. So that's the same with UGI Gas currently having this and UGI PNG looking to this for 2018. And we do offer rebates for commercial fryers, both small vat and large vat, different incentive levels, and commercial steam cookers all have to be Energy Star for those pieces of equipment. And then pre-rinse spray valves need to have the EPA WaterSense certification for a $50 rebate. Next slide, please. So want to get into the new programs that will be for UGI Gas and UGI PNG customers. These are our new construction programs. So there'll be a residential and a non-residential avenue for these new construction programs. Starting with the residential side, again, UGI Gas and UGI PNG customers launching January 1st, 2018. It's a HERS rating program, so pretty much the same if you're familiar with I'm sure most of the people on this call are familiar with the way that the EDCs, the electric companies, run their programs. We mirrored them as far as offering a HERS rating in the process in order to hopefully have some joint customers together, make it easier for the customer and the builder. So single-family residencies or individually metered multifamily that are less than 5 stories. So that just basically follows the HERS, what HERS ratings are set up for. Incentives begin at 30% savings above code home, and the levels below that are $20 per MMBTU for a home that achieves 30% savings above code, and $30 per MMBTU saved for 30% savings above code plus Energy Star certification. So we're giving an additional $10 per MMBTU for any home that achieves Energy Star.
I'm sorry, Joe, just to interrupt, could you just clarify what some of us may not be familiar with MMBTU, so could you just clarify what that is?
Sure, it's just a unit of savings, so it's a million BTU of energy. So it's basically converted from gas. You can convert it from CCF or from therms if your bill is in, our bills are in CCF, so it's about 1.03 MMBTU to CCF. I know that's kind of technical, but it's basically just the unit that the HERS rating spits out of savings. So at the end of the HERS rating, it'll spit out, this is what a code home would use in MMBTU and in kWh for electric, and then it would say this is what your savings will be in this home above the code home based on what you did, and then we're giving $20 per unit and $30 per unit. I realize I didn't put on here, and it's a mistake by me, and I can add it on and get it to you, Tori, if you want to send it out with the new one. We're expecting an average of about $1,030 per home based on...
Okay, great. I was just going to ask that.
Yeah, so I should have put that on here. So what I'll do, Tori, sorry about that, I'll put that on here and send it out to you so you can include that in this email that goes out to everybody, if that's okay. So it'd be about we're averaging 1,030, and that's based on taking some of the homes that have qualified in the electric company programs that had gas heat and saying this is what they would have gotten had it gone through the gas program based on those savings. So that's kind of where we factored some of that in. So thanks for having me clear that up. And then on the non-residential side, so UGI Gas and UGI PNG customers, same thing, also launching January 2018. This is an energy modeling, so it's very similar, but it'll be more modeling based on the non-residential nature. It's for non-residential buildings or master metered multifamily, and then individually metered multifamily over 5 stories. So some high-rise buildings or something like that that are individually metered would also go through here because the HERS rating isn't designed to handle that large of a building. And then incentives basically with this are just going to be customized based on savings and cost effectiveness of the energy modeled upgrade. So basically it's just going to look at the same thing with building codes, and you just get custom incentives for, there's not necessarily a percentage you need to achieve. It's just if you're doing energy efficient upgrades to your new building, it gets fit into a custom calculator that everybody will be provided with. All the contractors participating will be provided with, and then based on the energy modeling, it'll just spit out a custom incentive for each building.
And Joe, before we move on from this slide, do you have like a percentage of or an amount that you're going to be spending for this new construction, new program, or is it just solely based on demand?
No, we do have an amount. And off the top of my head, it's slipping me. I didn't intend to put budgets in here for the presentation. We were just kind of going to give the overall idea of what the programs are going to be. So let me get back to you with that answer because I don't want. Sure. I do have a number on the top of my head, but I don't want to give it on recording and then have someone held to it. So what I'll do is I'll just get it back to you with the. No,
that's fine.
Number.
Just for an overall idea about like how much is available for this, or how many buildings and units this program could be used for.
Yep, no, and that's a great question. And I could say that our forecast for the first year of the program was about 8 buildings to be done in the UGI gas territory and 1 in the PNG territory, and that's just based on what commercial construction is going on in our territories. But that's just a very rough forecast of what we do, because the reality is there hasn't been a gas program for this. So it's kind of all uncharted territory for figuring out how many are going to be energy efficient from a gas perspective. With the electric side, where you can have like your lighting and things like that, make it energy efficient. The gas is a little more deeper upgrades. So that's why we're anticipating these numbers. But again, it could be triple that. But yeah, I'll get you some numbers. It's all in our public filing, so I would just send you the information from that. But I didn't even really think to put that on. But I'll definitely forward that off to you, Tori, and you can share it with the team, with the group. Sorry.
Great. And then just to reiterate, so you guys are the only gas company that's doing energy efficiency programs right now?
So no, we're not. PGW
Okay.
does have a few in the Philadelphia area, and PECO does have a few. None of them to the extent of this. Most of those are like lower equipment rebates, and new homes rebates that aren't really offering as robust. And in the non-residential, there's not a new construction that I'm aware of in non-residential. So yes, there are others that have programs. It's just not the multitude or the incentive levels that ours do.
Great, makes sense.
Yep. So you can go to the next slide, please. So mirroring, one more. Yeah, there we go. So on the UGI gas side, so this is not PNG. This will be PNG customers in 2019. We also have retrofit programs, so for existing buildings. So on the residential side, it's the Home Energy Upgrades Program. Again, UGI gas customers only, UGI PNG in 2019. Launching this. I do have January 1, 2018 up there. We just found out that we'll probably be actually enrolling contractors starting in January 1st of 2018, and then sometime the second week in January be able to enroll customers. So I just sent this to Tori on like Tuesday. So that's information since then. So really, it's okay to say it's launching in January. The updated information will be on the website at all times. So that's why, again, I put the website up there. That's always going to be where you have that. And I think most people on this call will be more interested in the non-residential side of this anyway. But yeah, so it's residential home energy upgrades, $150 full home energy audit. So basically it's $150 to the customer, and then UGI is also going to incentivize the contractor an additional $150. So that way the contractor will get a total of $300, but the customer's out of pocket is $150. And the full home energy audit is the blower door, duct testing, and pretty much everything. It's not just a walkthrough assessment. It's for residential customers, and you can see based on the audit recommendations and the savings, this is what will be offered in line of rebates or incentives for putting in those actual measures. So the heating equipment will also be part of this, the water heating equipment, also for pipe insulation, air sealing measures, insulation of the attics and walls, duct insulation, duct sealing, Wi-Fi thermostat, same as the other program, low flow faucet devices, low flow fixtures, efficient water heaters will get incentivized, water heater pipe insulation, and also tank temperature turn down for water heaters. So all of those will have an incentive value. Those with ranges, similar to other retrofit programs on the electric side that have been going on for some time. The ranges are all just based on what your pre-value is. So if you have zero insulation and you're installing, Energy Star levels of insulation, you would get that $2 per square foot. If you have just a little bit, you would fall on somewhere in the middle. And if you have a fairly decent amount, but you're going to get some savings from upping your insulation, is where you'd fall in on that 35 cents per square foot. So non-residential energy upgrades, again, UGI gas customers only, PNG in 2019, launching January 1st, 2018. We'll have a pre-approval application ready on January 1st. Energy audit is required, a full commercial energy audit. There's a software package that auditors will have to fill out in order to do work on the building or to submit an audit for the building. That's for non-residential buildings, master metered multifamily. Included in that, incentives will be customized based on savings and cost effectiveness. So similar to the non-residential new construction, it's not going to be like there won't be a table like you see on the home energy upgrades program. It'll just be, this is what you're doing, this is what it's going to save, this is how much it costs. It has to meet a basic cost effectiveness number. and then you get paid an incentive, portion incentive based on that, on the cost effectiveness. So everything's going to be custom. I couldn't even tell you that, it's this much dollars per unit saved, and all based on the cost that goes into it as well. And then any measure that passed the cost effectiveness will be incentivized. So there's really no way we can put a table because there's just so many opportunities. It could range from gas-fired conveyor belts in a processing unit, in a processing warehouse, to rooftop units, to dry cleaning machines. I mean, it could be anything. So really just anything that passes cost effectiveness based on an audit and an audit modeling evaluation, and then is installed by the customer and QA'd to determine that what was supposed to be installed is installed, and then we spit out a custom dollar amount for each project. And the same thing with the new construction programs, Tori, for your information. I'll provide you with the filing information that's out there on the PUC site for the budgets for the programs, so that you can see them.
Great, thanks, Joe.
Next slide, please. I think is just the end. Yep. So that's really all I had. Again, I just wanted to give you the high level of the programs and know that they're coming, and leave this information up on the screen, because any questions, or if you have specific projects that you're looking toward, feel free to ask questions today, of course. But if you have specific projects, feel free to email savesmart@ugi.com at any time, and either myself or someone on my team will definitely help. And for full details, it's always going to be up to date on that SaveSmart website, ugi.com/SaveSmart. And then again, the week between Christmas and New Year, probably around the 28th, 29th, we'll have the new information up there, so you can reflect the new programs that will be coming in the new year. So with that, we can just open up for questions if you wanted to, Tori.
Yep, so now I'm going to unmute the lines, and so feel free to ask any questions or any comments, talk about any potential projects. Now is the chance to do that.
The conference has been unmuted.
Hello?
Hi, yes.
Hi,
go ahead.
My name is I'm calling from Rawson Mercy Douglas, and we were just, will you be sending 5 copies of your slides at a particular time?
Yes, we will be having copies. Copies will be available, yes.
All right, thanks.
Any other questions?
Right.
So any follow-up questions can also be emailed to Joe as well, and we will send out the PowerPoint slides as well as the recording next week. So thanks, everybody, for getting on the call. Really appreciate it, and have a wonderful weekend.
Oh, that's horrible.